Hi, it's Vanessa Talbot, creator of the group you're in, Coaches, Experts and Changemakers. Step into the spotlight. You'll see my little kangaroo behind me there. That's Legacy. She's got the couch today, so I'm sitting on the floor. That's okay. I have more couches, but I'm quite happy on the floor. Um, all last week, what I've been talking is Facebook groups, and particularly having your own Facebook group and what that's going to do for you, and also how to have one that's going to be something that grows. You're able to monetize. It's going to bring you clients and leads, and it's something that will get you known and on the radar of other influencers as well. So that's why I've been talking Facebook groups, for Facebook owners and creators. We have a fair few in Step Into the Spotlight group that obviously also own their own groups as well. So what I thought I would chat today about, and excuse me for the hair and the no makeup and everything, mornings are my run time, so I've been out and about running and out with the horses and whatnot. And I remember hearing someone recently, another coach, and she said, "Oh, I can't exercise in the mornings." I said, "Why not?" She said, "Oh, because I have to blow dry my hair for my lives." I'm quite the opposite. I'll show up with messy hair. As long as I get my me time and my runs and my time with the animals in the morning. So what I wanted to talk about today was I hear people saying to me now, oh, there seems to be Facebook group overload. Like there's so many Facebook groups out there. What is the point in me starting one when there's so many out there? And, good question. And I can understand why you may think that way. There's a lot of groups. How can you possibly stand out, grow your group? And get it happening when there are so many other groups out there for people to participate and to engage in. And of course, in terms of people's time to participate, unless we're going to spend 24/7 on Facebook, we're not going to have the time to participate in every group. So hi, Alita. So good to see you. Haven't seen you for a while. Hi. Thanks for tuning in. And you will probably find that, you might be a member of, 20, 30, 40, 50, even 100 groups, but I can guarantee that you absolutely will not be participating. G'day, Maria. You will not be participating in all the groups that you are a member of. You will hopefully have selected, 3, 4, maybe tops 5 of your absolute favorite groups where you feel, one, that you can reach a market, or secondly, that you can learn stuff, or thirdly, a great combination of both within a group. So out of all the groups that you're a member of, as I said, I bet you are not actively participating in all of them. And even if you are trying to show up in each and every one of the group you're a member of, I bet it's hard yakka to actually engage and build good relationships in all those groups. So I get why people say, oh, there's so many groups out there now. What's the point in me starting one? People are in group overload. Here's my view on it, and it doesn't mean that this is the way to go, but this is just my thoughts on it. And darling little Legacy there, sleeping, isn't she cute? First up, one of the things I've noticed is that people will flock to new groups. All right, so if there's something new going on, people want to be a part of it. So that's one of the pluses and something you can use to your advantage if you are starting your own brand new group. Like, instead of resisting the idea and going, oh, it's not going to work because there's too many out there, turn this vision around and kind of realize people love new. They love to taste new. So you have got an advantage in that sense when you're first starting one out, that people want new stuff and they want to experience new stuff. So that's a plus for starting a new group. Of course, The challenge is then keeping those people who have flocked to your new group engaged and interested in your space. So that then becomes the challenge from them. But in terms of having a new group, yes, if you start a new group, you'll often get a throw of people in those initial days coming in to your group because it's new, they want to check it out. And yes, Emrose, that is my gorgeous little legacy room, and yes, she wants to sleep. So that's what she's got the couch and I haven't. If you have an established group, how do you beat that with a lot of people wanting to, jump into the new groups or the new groups that they've heard about? It's by staying fresh. So you've got to try and keep your group constantly in some way reinventing and staying fresh with fresh ideas. And one of the best ways to do that, of course, is every now and then you can jazz up the themes. So we're bringing in a new theme day once I get a banner done this week, and we're bringing in some new themes to jazz up in here again as well. So that is one way you can do it. Okay, so another reason why it's probably beneficial and better to have a group than not have your own Facebook group. When you have your own group, no matter the size of it, whether it's just started, and you've got 50 to 250 people in there, or whether it's been going a bit longer, it's a way of establishing your very own community. So yes, you can go into other people's groups and build great relationships within there. But the fact is, in those other groups where, of course, you can be seen and heard and get known for something, that community is that group owner's community. All right. And so you want your very, very own. So that is another plus of having your own space. You are the one then that starts to get seen as the expert to that particular community that you are building. So that's second reason why I think it's really, really important for you to build your own community, as well as show up in other ones. But I think at the end of the day, you'll get more benefit from your own community. Yes, exactly, Alita. I love going into other people's groups, but I greatly respect that is their community. And as much as I like to engage within their communities, build relationships and whatnot like that, it is their community, and I have a lot of respect for that, and I like to come back and play in my own community. So that's the plus about having your own group, is it becomes your space, your community, and those people will start to look at you as, the expert or the pool of knowledge or the support system or whatever it is that you have established your group for. They will start to look at you at that as you build that presence within your group to your own community. So that's the second reason why I think it's still, even though we do look like we have group saturation overload, why I still think it's important to have your own group as well. Third reason is this, okay? And this one you might find a bit tricky, but I look at it this way. Okay, people say, oh, it's a saturated market, they're all grouped out. How do you stand out in a saturated market? Have a think about that. How do you stand out in a saturated market? We're not just talking about here on Facebook land, but we're talking about down the main street where there might be 10 $2 shops. Which one do you end up going to? Do you know what I mean? What are the things that make you stand out in any saturated market? And if you can tap into that, which is what's going to make my group and me, my presence within my group, stand out and make people want to come back to my group, even though they're probably running out and becoming members of everywhere else and testing them out as well. So it's what's your special sauce that's going to make your particular group different. And this is where I see a lot of groups start to fail because they're not tapping into what's different about me. And what happens is that when they start a group, they look at groups that they have followed and they have been highly successful groups, and they model that word, basically word to word, action to action. Hi, Kathy. I will answer your question in a minute. Thank you for asking. So they model a successful group, absolutely down word to word, word to word. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to look at some of the groups out there that are successful and say, well, what's the magic that's going on in here, and how can I then apply that to mine? So, how are they getting high engagement? How are they getting people coming to them all the time? And how are they monetizing their group? And you want to take elements of those, but you cannot create a group that is exactly the same, a complete rip-off to someone else's group, because then there's no way that you're going to stand out when all the groups are the same. So when you start your own group, you have to tap into what is my special sauce. So when creating Step Into the Spotlight, which we went from 0 to 5,000 extremely quickly, and in the first week it was 0 to 500. And it was, a group I wanted for coaches, authors, experts, change makers, and I wanted it to be a place where they could step out into the spotlight. Because one thing I noticed about many of the big groups that were highly successful was that the only person, and I hope I don't get in trouble for this, but it's true, the only person that was allowed to be out there stepping into the spotlight and shining in all their glory was actually the group owner. So the group owner was extremely protective of their space. Now, I get that, but it wasn't allowing the members to shine. They kind of just had to look at their group owner as the guru and ask questions and take advice rather than allowing their own self to be able to shine and shine their knowledge. So that's what I wanted to do that was different with Step Into the Spotlight, was make sure that we didn't allow that competitive nature, and we appreciated everyone's gifts, everyone's talents, and allowed a space for everyone to shine within the right days. Because if you don't have them in the right days, what you end up with your group is chaos. So we have to limit the days that that's allowed to be done as well, which is Profile Boost Day and, of course, Offer Day. And, of course, Magic Mindset as well is another day as well today. So it is about, when you are starting your own group, tapping into what am I going to do with my group that is different. And then that is what will have people flocking. So, Kathy, let me just have a look at your question. What is your view on the difference between the info you post in your Facebook group compared to your Facebook page, considering best time management and frequency? Okay, all right. For me, there's a big difference, okay? So in this group, we have, we're climbing up to 15,500 people. On my Facebook page, business page, I think I've got 4,500, and on my own personal page, I've probably got 750 friends and around 1,300 followers, or close to 1,300 followers. I probably spend less time on my business page and more time in here because I prefer the community feel. So I'm probably going to post, 2, 3, 4 times a day in here, because I also feel that within the group, because the group has a higher reach, which I think at the moment is around 30% for groups, for reach, I'm going to reach more people than on my business page, where my business page, my reach is about, I think the reach is, are much, much lower on the Facebook group pages. And on my own personal page, I don't like people that come there to follow me on my personal page. Now, you've got to understand that everyone's different. Some people have their personal page very set up to show their expertise and their influence, because that's what they want it for. But my personal page was started before I got into this, and it still tends to be the same as it was before, which is really just sharing with my friends, my followers, people in my circle, what I actually do also outside of the coaching business. But it's also, because I have lots of good relationships on my personal page, a good place to post information about when I've got a new product or a new program or something like that as well, because those people know me, like me, follow me. They're often interested in personal stuff as well. So would I do the same on both, the same information on all of them? Yeah, generally I do. I don't tend to have a great bit of difference, but you wouldn't post it all at the same time. So you can do a rotation. One thing that I've found out that works, and I've heard a few other coaches do this as well, is that they will make a post on some, one of their pages or in one of their groups, and if it goes really, really well, then they'll rotate that same post and go and do it on their business page and their personal page and that as well. But if something flunks and they don't get a lot of interaction with it, then they don't bother to repost it anywhere else. So basically, there shouldn't be much difference between your group and your personal page and your business page. The only thing you've got to remember is, am I, as the group creator, supposed to be following the same guidelines as I've put for everyone else who comes join the groups? Don't necessarily have to, but if you want to, that's fine. Fair's fair for all, or you can have your own, well, I put the time and space into this. So if you are following the guidelines that you have for everyone else in your group, then you'll only be able to do promotional posts on that one offer day, for example, if you have that one promotional day. While in your own business page and your own personal page, of course, you can promote your offers and services anytime that you want. So that might be the only difference, Kathy, that I can see. Just depends on how you have set your group up. But I have heard of people doing, I'll put a completely different thing in my group to somewhere else, and that's fine, but I would do a rotating thing with the posts that work really, really well. I don't personally see the need for a massive amount of difference in the content that you deliver to your community, as in your group, and then the content that you deliver on your business page. But you don't want to put the same thing every day. You want to mix and match them up, because your business page, hopefully, will have the same aim as what you have built a group for anyway. So, do you want to start your own group? I just gave you 2 reasons why you should, and the third one, if you do, how to make sure that yours does actually stand out. Remember, oh, hang on, Kathy, thank you. Yeah, it is. The reach is higher in a group, which is where I tend to concentrate most of my time in. But one thing I will say, and this is something I'm watching really heavily, and it will be getting brought into the Facebook group mastermind that we're starting this Friday, and I still have some spaces left. So if anyone is interested, you need to get in contact with me and jump on that. But one thing we will be looking at is Facebook are evolving groups as we speak at this moment, and they've been sneaking in some changes. And if you have a group and you're not on top of those changes, or you're not understanding what they're evolving to, it may be the detriment to your group. I can see a lot of groups starting to lose out with what I can see with what they are already starting to evolve into Facebook groups now. So the groups I think that will survive really well and thrive on this are those that are highly engaged groups already and quick growing groups already. So if you're not in that space with your group, you'll need to get that engagement level up quick smart, which is what the mastermind is also about. But we will be looking at these changes that Facebook are bringing in, so I'll be on top of that. I've got a lot of connections with other group owners who have big groups, bigger than mine, some of them smaller than mine, but they're always highly influential groups, friends with all of them. So I will be getting, what we talk about, bringing it into the masterminders as well, so that we can look at our groups, your groups, individually every Friday, and you've got something to act on to make sure your group is going to thrive and survive as well with what Facebook are evolving things into. As I said, none of us really know where it's going. We do have the fact that Facebook have now brought in paid advertising in groups. Now, the concern is, of course, what happened when they brought in paid advertising onto Facebook pages. They drastically reduced the reach. So any pages that didn't have a lot of engagement, their reach was so reduced that you didn't get anywhere unless you actually paid for your post now to get out there. So that is a concern with groups now that have got low engagement, not a lot happening in there, is will you survive as Facebook bring in the paid advertising? Because if you have low engagement, how much are they going to drop your reach by to get you to put that money in there as well? When you've already got a group that has good engagement, even less reach is still going to keep your engagement up if they see you as someone and a reason for wanting to come into the group all the time. So I know it's sounding a bit strange at the moment, but trust me, in this mastermind, we have to work at establishing you, not only about getting your group engaged, but also establishing you as that value for your group members as well. So they do want to come back into your group without having to be reached. You know, they want to come and visit the group without you having to pay to have your posts reached to reach your community. So big aspect coming into the Facebook Mastermind is we'll also talk about that, as well as many other things to do with group. A leader. Posting to our group from our own business page, will it affect our reach? Yes, see, now this is what's going on. Like, Facebook now gives you the ability to actually post from your business page into your group. Now, as you can see, I've done it in here, and I make multiple posts each day. Some come from my business page and some come from my normal personal page, which is where we always used to post in groups before. But now you can actually connect your group to your business page and make posts from your business page. How is that affecting the reach that my individual posts get? So where am I getting the most reach? From the business page when I'm posting in there, or from my personal page? That I'm still collating, because I can't give the absolute definite answers on that, but that is what we are watching at the moment, a leader, and seeing what difference that makes. Because people are asking that, you know, should I be connecting my Facebook group to my Facebook page? So my business page. And there are pluses and there are minuses for that, for doing that. So, you know, the pluses are, and this is true, the pluses are, because I'm posting now from my business page, I'm getting a lot more people who come into my group that go and then like my business page. So my business page numbers are growing. Not massively fast like this group does, but they are. Well, before it didn't grow a lot, my page, because I didn't work a lot on it, but now people are starting to like the page because they see me in this group. So that's a plus for it, as in it's sending people to your business page. So, you know, if you can have two lots of content going on a day, some in your group, some in your business page, and people are really interested in what you do, you've got multiple places to hit them with lots of great value and stuff. The minus, of course, is Facebook are figuring out which groups are connected to business pages. Okay, so if you go and connect your group to your business page, they will then that tells them that you are a business, okay, because your group becomes connected to that business page, and you could possibly be one of the ones where they will reduce reach, so that as a business you'll be forced to pay for extra reach via paid advertising that they have brought into the groups. So pluses, minuses. How do you beat that? You beat that by making sure that your group remains fresh, continually engaged, all that sort of stuff. Okay, so that's what we concentrate on with groups in the mastermind. A leader, I'll just answer, what's the difference between having a page and a group, since both are going to involve paid advertising? Yeah, well, your group, I know, I don't actually think it's a great idea for the paid advertising, but when you look at Facebook, people swapped from, you know, concentrating on their Facebook business pages and said, well, I'll beat this paid advertising thing and I'll go create a group. So people swapped into the groups. And of course, groups, we had license to reach a lot of people, sell our products and our programs, draw clients and that. We didn't have to spend a cent. We just had to show up each day, keep our groups engaged. And we're drifting away from our business pages into the groups. Now, I would imagine, you know, I'm not a Facebook expert or anything, but I would imagine what's been going on for Facebook is that, okay, so people are getting too much reach and not spending the money that they need to, and they're abandoning their business pages. We're going to have to get the groups as well now, because that's where a lot of people move their business into groups. So you can see what's going on. What would be the difference between a Facebook page and a Facebook group? At this point, I still think you're better off having a Facebook group than a Facebook page, because a Facebook group has more of a community around it depending on how you set up your group. So if you haven't set up a group yet, these are things you need to take into account now before you start them. So that's why with Facebook group Magicians Mastermind, which is starting Friday, these are the things we're going to tackle with each of you who have joined the mastermind individually, to find out what do you want from your group and what's going to be the best strategy for you to evolve with these changes. So that's what we're going to be bringing in and looking at. And it's not just my information, it's information I've gathered from others, and it's also you know, you're going to have the insights of the fellow masterminders who are all group owners, or they are starting their own groups as well. So all that will be really come in handy. Kathy, I'm planning to start a new group very soon. I also heard that there's a new feature being introduced that will enable you to virtually provide a basic membership site style thing to your group. Yes, so there are new features coming through. There's not a lot that we personally know about most of it right now, but one of the things they're bringing in is that, the possibility of the membership sites for your group. So that's kind of exciting, that one. I'm excited to see where that one goes. And also it's been around the traps too, Kathy, that they are bringing in being able to run courses and that from your group as well. So you can see how this all then becomes beneficial to you to have the group over your business page. I think Facebook have cottoned on to the fact that groups are far more happening because they have a far more community feel to them, and this is where we are enjoying hanging out. And Facebook pages are kind of dead a bit. We just use them when we want to put out a sponsored post, so to speak, because we need to have that page. But so Facebook is still going to concentrate heavily on groups, and that's why I think personally you are still better off having a group than just a page alone. Okay, that's my thoughts on it. But yeah, some interesting stuff, and this is what I'm talking about, the involvement that's happening with groups. And we as group owners don't really know yet how that's going to affect our groups individually. And how they affect your group individually is going to depend on how you've set your group up now as well. So we would look at things like that, analyze each group of each member that's in the mastermind, work out what's going to be best for them to evolve with these new changes, what they need to do to get up to speed so they can actually take advantage rather than be disadvantaged by what Facebook are evolving stuff in. And of course, over the course of the next few months, I'll be gathering more and more knowledge as well from my contacts in the traps to bring that to you. So I hope that helped, Kathy, because, yeah, I have heard that stuff too, and I actually find it quite exciting, which is why I think groups are still a fantastic option for your business, and, you know, to have that place where you can interact with people, establish yourself as not only a leader but someone that's valuable, that's got, you know, fantastic information to give out. And you know, look at the interaction that I'm getting here from you guys that have just popped in, and I kind of did this unannounced, so I just popped in. So I've got, you know, people asking questions and stuff like that because it's in the group. When I do lives on the Facebook page, because the reach is so low, I'm not usually getting this, and I'm not usually getting the great questions and stuff like that. I love the group because it's like-minded people all flocking together, and we can all ask each other questions. So to me, still great benefits in Facebook group. If you are thinking about starting your own Facebook group, please get over the we're saturated with groups. Yes, I do believe we are saturated with groups, but you have to look at this in another way. How will you stand out in that field of saturation? And of course, that's my field of expertise. How do you stand out from the crowd? That's what a profile builder does. She looks for what's special about you, what's your uniqueness is going to make you and what you do stand out from all the competition. So that's why that doesn't frighten me, where it frightens others. But for me, it's like, no, I will find what your special sauce is. So if you want to start your own group and want to go gung-ho into it, get it up, growing, thriving, engaged, and set it up from the very beginning in a way that you can make money out of it, which looks like Facebook are aiming to take care of a lot of that for you with the introduction of what Kathy and I talked about, the courses, the membership sites, all that stuff that is, you know, on the ether out there, but we haven't actually been given it yet or really had concrete evidence yet of what's happening and when. So if you want to do all that and take advantage of that, then Facebook group Magicians Mastermind is perfect for you. It's great for people who want to just start out their group, but it's also perfect for those who have a group but don't feel at this point that their group is growing or engaged enough. I see a lot of groups and I feel that, you know, no likes, 1 or 2 likes for your posts and stuff like that on a continual basis is not an engaged group. As much as you might want to tell yourself that, it's not. So you need to look at your groups again. But if you have a group, as I said, that you want to evolve with Facebook changes, make the most of it, get it thriving, get it engaged, and make sure that you're able to take advantage of the changes that are coming and be monetized as well, then come along to Magicians Mastermind. You'll need to PM me because we are starting this Friday on 10 a.m. Sydney time, which is Thursday night for people in the US. This time zone stuff just messes everything up, doesn't it? Kathy, you have another question? That's fine. It seems to me that Facebook is becoming totally flooded with image quote posters. Everyone is jumping on the bandwagon and it feels like the whole thing is going off purpose. To me, the image quote graphics that people put up is just what you do when you've got nothing to say yourself. So unfortunately, I go to a lot of life coaches pages, business pages, and one of the main problems I see is that it's just full of motivational quotes, and those motivational quotes are not even their own, they're coming from other people. So it's full of quotes and motivational posters and whatnot from yeah, well, I don't hold back, I'm just going to say what I think, but and it's, you know, we can't even get a gist of, because it's nothing but motivational quotes and graphics and stuff like that. We don't even get a gist of the person that's making the posts on that business page. So what happens is, I feel that when you are relying on motivational posts and quotes to fill your business page, you are not sure of your own message, your own market, your own genius, and your own brilliance. Now, if you go to one of my pages or you go in here, you'll see that I rarely post motivational stuff unless it's my own. So if you are relying on motivational stuff, I think you've got to, you know, from other people, how about instead creating some of those graphics and putting your quotes on them with your name, because it's from you. So come up with your own stuff and put there. It's a way of shining and putting your brilliance out there. But don't rely on just a Facebook page that's full of motivational posters and graphics, because nobody cares. The thing is, why people think they're a winner is because people love to share them. And so just filling your pages up every day, okay, so people might be sharing your post because they love the words that Oprah said, but I can tell you right now, they do not give a toss about you who posted the words that Oprah said. So that's something to really bear in mind. So yeah, post some motivational posts, but make sure that your entire feed is not full. You know, your entire wall is not full of those. You want to also add plenty of your own life, what you've got going on with your business, your value, what you've got to give. Make sure there's plenty of that interspersed as well, because as I said, I always look at a page that's full of nothing but motivational posters, and I just think this person does not know who they are or what it is that they're offering. So they're relying on taking stuff from other people. But yes, they do get good shares, but so what if nobody cares? If it's Oprah's words, not yours, they don't care about you, they care about Oprah. Okay, so Facebook group Magicians Mastermind, please come and let me know if you want to jump in. Just send me a PM. I'll put some details with this replay of this live as well. It's $1,000 US. It is 60 days with a call once a week. So you are really going to get that. Yeah, yay. I'm glad you agree with me. Not everyone always does. You're going to get your Facebook group up, engaged, whether you're new or you've got an established one that is not thriving. The aim of this 60 days is to get it engaged, get it to monetizing, make sure that it's evolving into these new changes so that these group changes that are coming through are going to benefit you rather than have you as one of the groups that will struggle, just like many Facebook pages struggled when changes were brought in from Facebook. So that's what we want to make sure. So at the end of the day, you want to come out of the plus with this by acting now and acting early with your group. $1,000 if you pay up front in one installment, you get $100 off, so it's $900, or we have some installment options as well. If you want more information on what we're actually going to cover as well, it is a mastermind, but we also are going to cover different aspects of groups and group development and making sure that your group grows quick. If you want to have a look at that schedule, just send me a quick PM and I will flick that off to you. I have to start making sure we are in the last days. So I will be closing it soon. So if you want in, you have to jump in with me in this today or tomorrow. Okay. All right. My battery's running low. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Kathy and Alita, for joining in and us having this conversation today. It's wonderful to see you. I'm Vanessa Talbot, profile building for coaches and change makers, making sure that your message is getting out there and reaching the people that you want. Okay. Turu.